So I really enjoy them. They're quite lovely.
And you've transplanted them from...
Yes, these ones, yes. Yep.
They're really enjoying it. Now, how much sun does that spot get? Is it a hot spot?
It is west side, but it's pretty, well, you can see it's pretty open.
Yeah.
Kind of just goes around the yard, but it gets sun all day. Not direct, I wouldn't call it direct sun, but very bright all day. So they're pretty happy. And actually the reason why they're here is because there were no places to put them. So I saw these rocks and I thought, maybe these types of things would like it here. So I stuck them here. Wasn't really sure if they were going to stay, but now they look pretty happy. So they might be here forever. I don't know.
They look very happy.
Yeah, there's a few other little friends here, and look, it survived.
There's some old friends doing very well.
Yeah.
Elephant ear hosta.
Yep. Very beautiful. This is my size 10 feet.
For scale, yes, you
For
can
scale.
see those are big leaves.
Yeah, it's very happy. So the deer have not demolished it, so I'm pretty happy.
Any nibbling? Any rabbits
Nope.
or deer?
Nope. The only thing that's got a hold of it so far has been my whippersnapper.
Friendly fire.
These little ones are one of my favorites. I don't know what they're called. They're kind of sedum, but they're just a very unique color. Like them. Yeah.
Yeah, and these all came from the old place, right? You transplanted these.
All of these. Yeah. This was all because I had no place when I moved. I had to just stick everything in the ground at the end of August. And so these are things that have grown just where I stuck them, really. I need to start moving things around. But they all seem to be okay. There's some there. This is new down here. A friend donated some daylilies for me. So they're kind of wilty at the moment, but hopefully they'll pick up. To mulch or not to mulch? That is the question now. I'm not sure. I'm debating putting mulch around these things because what you see back there, I would like to transform into a butterfly meadow. It's already started naturally. Obviously, I'm not mowing it. But over here, you can see, oh, there's some wild friends there and some daisies coming there. And then back there, you can see there's buttercups and daisies, a few wild friends. And I'd like to encourage more of the wild friends. So I think I'm going to install some bergamot. These are actually brown-eyed Susans. When they start going, they'll be able to seed that back spot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be lovely, and of course that's great for the insects and pollinators.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Not to mention your mama chickadee is going to need a lot of caterpillars to feed those babies.
It's true. Hopefully they eat it soon. That little box off my porch. It wasn't supposed to be a chickadee house. Actually, it could have been a chickadee house. It just wasn't supposed to be on the porch, but they moved in very early in the spring. And then we had to, well, we couldn't move them out once they made it their own. Garden, jardin.
What's growing on here?
Dans le jardin. Well, so you got my shadow and everything. We're growing nice propane tanks. Things are coming, like beets are going pretty good. Got some peas, beans, carrots. onions that the chipmunk seems to like to dig up for some weird reason.
Chipmunks.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's an ongoing battle.
You should get a
Got
cat.
cucumbers. A cat? Yeah, maybe.
Garden needs a cat.
Nasturtiums? Probably.
Nasturtiums. Now,
Well, yep.
nasturtiums. Yeah, I love nasturtiums. It's impossible to
They're
look
sort
at a
of,
nasturtium flower and not smile.
it's true. Mine were all started from seed, so there's not much happening on them yet, but I expect soon we'll see something.
Yeah, yeah.
I had seeded too many tomatoes, and I ended up with a surplus. So after I planted the ones in my tomato patch, I tried desperately to give these away, but no one would take them. So I put them in random places. I don't know. I got to see how they go. I mean, I didn't have the heart to compost them. I thought about putting them in the woods for the chipmunks so they wouldn't eat the rest of the stuff in here, but I don't think it matters. They just eat whatever the heck they want. There's another random tomato up there. Oh, and two more. Yeah, I ended up, I mean, I didn't know when I put the seeds in to germinate. I had no idea how many would actually go, and so I kept everything.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I probably didn't need to. Now tell me this. Here's a question. Is there anything prettier in terms of vegetables, is there anything prettier than kale? Look at that.
That's going to be a controversial opinion. I think we need a survey of our listeners and viewers in the comments below. Kale is a lovely ornamental.
Look at that.
Look at yeah, that's quite nice. That's the is that the Russian kale or the what do you call that? Is that
I
ornamental?
think this one is,
Are you gonna eat it?
no, we've been eating it already. We eat it
Yeah.
every day.
How's it taste? Is it very chewy? Is it
Yeah.
bitter?
The smaller leaves are quite lovely. We eat them raw. Now these larger ones, as the kale grows, I think we'll have to, cut up and treat and eat that way.
Yeah. Turnips?
Radish. Radish.
Wow.
We've been eating radish and lettuce and kale from the garden so far. Yeah, that's the tops of the radish.
Do you eat those as well?
Let's see. No, I don't know if you can. It's a good question. Maybe that's another poll. Do you eat the tops of your radish?
These are all ideas.
We're not advising anyone to do that.
You have to be careful with that. Advising people on what to eat.
These are amaranth. See the red down there?
Of course, yeah. I've tried to grow that. That is started from seed, or did you?
Seed.
From seed.
Yep, I've had it before, and it'll reseed itself. Probably have to end up thinning it, but it's beautiful. We call it the middle finger plant here.
Right, those spikes that stick up.
Yeah, and this thing. So I didn't know what this was. I was pretty sure I didn't plant it. It's a type of mustard. So I'm going to take it out of here because it's sort of shading onions, which maybe isn't such a big deal.
No.
But I'm going to take it out of here and put it in a pot because you can actually the leaves.
Those are very rewarding as well. But plants, plants don't talk back to you. That's
True.
That's the thing. Children, they get sassy. Plants have a different way of communicating. But yours are thriving. Now this is compost and topsoil.
This is it's a mix. It was purchased as a mix from the garden center. I had a dump load. So this is the first pepper. Whoops, don't know what kind it is. I didn't. Oh, actually, I did put a marker on that one. Well, this is a monumentous event. Kilmeny 4, mariachi. Don't know what that means other than hot pepper or strong pepper, whatever you want to translate it as. But this is where my tomatoes may feel a little crowded. I could not part with them. There's some little basil back there.
Good companion planting, tomato and
Yep.
basil.
Alyssium
And
also in there.
marigolds are recommended to plant with tomatoes because they deter some of the tomato pests, apparently.
Hopefully. We'll see. And these things are potatoes, and look at them.
Wow.
These are planted, I don't know if you remember, I planted them in these pots. And sorry, the sun's in my eyes now. I can't see where you're looking. Okay, that's good. When I started them, there was only about like that much soil, just enough to cover the little tuber that I planted. And then as they grew, I hilled them up. I hilled and filled those buckets so that now all of the lower leaves have been covered in series all the way up to, well, pretty much full now, all of them. There's a few that I can still fill in a bit, but I didn't know this about potatoes, but if you don't hill up and cover the lower leaves, potatoes are actually toxic. They can make you sick. They're called green potatoes, and they even have a green appearance. So that was something I learned this year with my little potato experiment.
Yeah,
I also learned that tomatoes and potatoes don't like to grow together, but I think in separate pots it might be okay. They don't seem to be complaining.
Potatoes like a more acidic soil, apparently. Did you put any activator in the pots, like the fish bones or fish heads or
No.
anything like that? Any special additions to the soil?
Nope. Nothing. Just whatever was in the garden soil.
Well, they seem to be doing great.
That's it. I think I will start now that they'll start to blossom soon, and at that point, because of the energy requirements, I think I will put a general type of fertilizer in there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use. It's just I have some naturally sourced available at your local hardware store that I intend to put on the plants just to help them with their flowering and fruit production.
Yeah.
Oh, this one has little flowers. Yeah. And the flower garden project is coming along as well. Transplants mostly from generous neighbors, but I did throw in some herbs and little oregano, thyme.
So that's all flowers and flowering herbs.
Yeah.
And is that
with a little bit of mint in buckets.
Yeah, keep the mint in the buckets. In the foreground, are those succulents in the gravel there as well?
Yeah, these are succulents in the gravel. Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is all very newly planted, very newly actually landed here. This was a grassy hill when I started.
Yeah. So you collected all those rocks and arranged them.
Yep.
And the gravel as well.
And set them.
It's lovely.
All the gravel, all the rocks, set them dug the hill, set them in. Some mint.
Beautiful. You've done a great job.
It's evolving. It evolves every day almost, actually. But it's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun to have some little friends donated by a cousin, donated by a neighbor, some zinnias that I grew from seed. Haven't done anything yet, but some cone flowers donated from a cousin.
Echinacea.
Yep, you're right.
And what are those?
Where?
I'm looking at the leafy shrubby things. Those are flowers as well.
Right here?
Yeah.
This?
Uh-huh.
This is an obedient plant. I'm told it has white flowers. It was a donation. I'm not really sure
Obedient.
what it's going to look like. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Does that describe its nature? Is it obedient?
Yes. Yes. So I've
And
had them
does it do
before.
what you tell it?
I had a variegated version, and whenever you move it, it stays as you move it. So I don't know if this one does the same, but if I were to do that, like if I bend it a certain way, it'll stay. It doesn't, of course, this one is going right back, but as my understanding is they're called obedient because they kind of just bend and grow however you direct them.
Really?
Yep. This one I'm not sure yet. It's new to me. Doesn't seem to do the same. Just doesn't seem to work the same way as my other one did. And these little light green seedlings here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they are. They were a packet of seeds I found in a plastic bag. I don't know what they are. I just threw them in there.
Those are the most fun, aren't they? That's the surprise factor. What the
Yeah,
heck are these? Who
don't
cares?
know.
Let's plant it, see what happens.
Yeah.
Or the stuff that seeds itself that you forgot about. You know,
Mm-hmm.
those are exciting too. So can't wait to see what that's going to turn out to be.
I actually found 2 poppy plants this morning. They were poppy seeds that were brought to me from France, from Impressionist painter. Oh my lord, not my famous water lily.
Monet, Matisse. You've turned your sound off. I can't hear you. Ugh, technology. It allows us to do so much, but when it doesn't work, it's so frustrating.
And now they've started growing. So they're beautiful. They're those little papery wild poppy types. And they bloom all summer. It's not like the ones with the big fuzzy leaves that only bloom for a bit in the spring. These ones bloom all summer long, and they have this really fine, transparent sort of petals. They're quite lovely. This was a unique succulent I just picked up. It looks like the chipmunks have been into it.
Darn chipmunk.
I just got this. I did buy this one, I have to admit. That's okay. It's a succulent. These things, you just, wherever they land, they grow. So it'll just start again.
Yeah, they're amazing that way, aren't they? Just break a piece off, plant it.
Which is what happened right up here. He came from the front gardens. Can you see him there?
Yeah, I see him. Okay, there
He
he
came
is.
from the front, just one single piece, and now he's flowering.
Beautiful.
Okay, you're happy.
Beautiful. It's an amazing spot. It is really well constructed, very pleasing. I love how it kind of takes you in a very fluid manner. You know, you're dealing with stone, which is static, but you've created this sort of feeling of motion. You know, it looks like a liquid, you know, flowing down the hill towards me. It's really remarkable. It's beautiful.
I think that it's important that the viewing of your garden, that you consider all angles of the viewing of your garden. So why the project started was because the kitchen window is kind of behind my head here. And so when I was looking out the kitchen, all I could see was this green, grassy, boring. This was a bit of a limestone screenings pit. There was nothing to look at here at all. And so, and I didn't have a flower garden. So I said, okay, I need to make a flower garden right there so I can see it every day and look out. Now we have a well, so the wellhead was right there, and I thought, okay, at the other house I had a birdhouse perched over top of the wellhead. So I would do the same thing here and then frame out the flower garden around it.
Mm.
Then the pandemic happened and I decided I needed a vegetable garden. So I
Mm.
just moved some bricks around and bought some dirt, and this is the result. I've got some lavender over here on this side waiting to be planted. I have not planted it yet, but this will be a nice lavender hedgerow is my plan.
Mhm.
And what
Mhm.
I haven't shown you is my little hollyhocks.
Hollyhocks.
Yeah, and that one's looking really like it's going to even flower. Um,
Wow.
I picked up, well, something's been eating them. I'm not sure what. This one's really getting kind of ragged. This was the one I bought recently. It's a
Mm.
double, it's a double hollyhock in a sort of a dark purple, almost black color. But as you can see, I'm not the only one that likes it.
Slugs.
Well, I would guess, oh, there's an earwig, so maybe them. I would guess more like a beetle, maybe a tortoise beetle. Oh no, there's a few earwigs around, so maybe it's earwigs, I don't know.
Mm.
But like tortoise beetles eat things like sweet potato leaves. And I don't know if these taste the same, but yeah, I'm gonna have to find out what it is. I see the evidence, but I don't see the perpetrator.
Mm. Yeah, well, you can't mess with the hollyhocks. That's your pride and joy right there. I mean, you saved it for last, obviously, because that's the special part.
Yep, it is definitely. I've got red, yellow, the dark purple doubles, and I think the other one are purple as well, but they're just the regular singles.
Mm.
Maybe there's something about the genetics of the double hollyhocks that makes them more susceptible, since they seem to be really chewed up by whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's eating them.
It's unfortunate, but that's a research point that we can try to answer
Yeah.
in the comments section below. Suggestions, advice. But that is a wonderful garden. It's congratulations. Thank you for sharing it. It's beautiful. You must be very proud.
I don't know. I don't know if you're familiar with the shoe planting. So when your kid Crocs break, my very creative daughter filled her shoes with dirt and some of these, I don't know what they are, Sweet William seeds.
Hmm.
This is her project to see if she can grow flowers in her shoes.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, well, why not? Recycle. This is a little treasure that I buy every year. It's an annual. Climbing, what do they call it? I think they call it a brown-eyed Susan climber.
Hmm.
I don't know. It comes in pink, it comes in yellow. And it'll grow, I don't know, maybe 7 meters in length, all of these little tendrils. They're very robust. Oops, I'm gonna have to pin that one up a little bit, I think. Oh, I know where all these sticks came from. We had someone move in.
Hmm.
You see it?
Yep. Yeah, that's a big nest. Is that a robin?
It is, yeah. I haven't seen her. She spent quite a bit of time making the nest, and then I don't know where she went. Somewhere. Another donation from a friend, some wild roses. Whoops, you can't see them. Yeah.
That'll be nice.
That'll be good when it grows. Take you on a little walk. You edit all this, right?
If you want.
Yeah, you got to take out Sade, and you got to take out, yeah, all my meanderings. I don't think people want to really hear all of my comments.
Do you want me to stop recording? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
but also take out Sadie too,
Yeah.
please. If you